ready for UConn, this week. One thing is what we've got to do is we got to just continue to make strides, with our young guys. I thought we made quite a bit of strides from week 1 to week 2, and now we've got to continue, to do that. And I think one of the things that you take a look at is, you just use Perry as an example. I mean, the first week he had a tough week, and then this week he bounced back and he was ACC, Rookie of the Year, Rookie of the Week, this past week. So again, if all of our guys, that's what we're striving for, is to make improvement from, week to week and, working to get better. That's what we're going to do. And, so we got to have a really good week of practice. We're playing a very tough opponent. When you take a look at their defense, they got 7 seniors, who start on defense, and 5 of those guys are fifth-year seniors, and they're third, in the country in scoring defense and total defense, and they're first in the country in rushing defense. And then offensively, they're starting to, hit their stride a little bit. When you take a look at, Lionel Combs is a very good running back, shifty, quick. And then also Nick Williams is a guy, as a receiver, who can make plays. And you see Jeremy Davis, making plays for him. And I think they have 2 really good specialists in Chad Christian and Cole Wagner, and a dangerous return man, in Nick Williams. So, we've got a lot of work ahead of us. We're a work in progress, and what we want to do is continue to progress this week and get better. And the way that you do that is go out and prepare the right way each and every week. And I'm sure that that our guys will be ready today and to do that. So we just look forward to the opportunity on Saturday.
Coach, elephant in the room, you against UConn. Your thoughts on that, going back and seeing your former team, and question, was that on the schedule before you arrived, so it's just a product of coincidence that you're facing?
Yes, it was, on the schedule, and I just got off the phone with the Connecticut media, so, I'll tell you exactly, what I told them. Connecticut, the state of Connecticut, the University of Connecticut was, a really special place for me and my family, from the standpoint that my daughter graduated from UConn. My son, got all his schooling in the state of Connecticut. And, I was fortunate that, Lou Perkins and Phil Austin, who was the president, gave me the opportunity to be a head coach. So I'll always be indebted, to the people from the state of Connecticut and the people at the university, and most especially Lou and Phil Austin, for the opportunity that they gave me. And then to throw in, Governor John Rowland and Tom Ritter, who was the Speaker of the House, who came up with the funds to have Rensselaer Field, to be able to build the Burton Family Football Complex and the Mark R. Shankman Training Center, and to give us the opportunity to do what we did there. Like I said, I'll be forever thankful. And I was very proud of what we accomplished at UConn. And when I say we, I meant the assistant coaches and all the players, the fans, everybody that played a part in that. And it's just one of those things that when I came here, this is where I grew up, and watching games here, going to basketball camp here, being a Baltimore fan, my whole life, all those sports teams. The one thing that if I had a do-over, and it's something that I have to live with, I wish I could have talked to those players in person. But the circumstances in our profession is one that didn't allow that. And as I said, that's something that that I have to deal with.
Hey, Coach, how big is the return of Matt Robinson and Isaac Williams for your secondary?
It'll be great to have those two guys, back out there. As I've said, and you've heard me say it, the experience is a great teacher. And, having Matt back there, having the experience that he has, playing, is only going to benefit us. Isaac is really, came here in the spring, but, has some years under his belt as a corner, and the things that we saw out of him in the spring and then early in the preseason, to have a guy that has kind of been in that environment before, I think is just going to, aid us in our development in terms of what we want to do defensively. And like I said, anytime that you have, experience, it's always a great teacher and a great benefit for us.
Coach, the mantra, do your job, the discipline offensively and defensively. What's the challenge in coaching and teaching that to a team with so many young players in so many prominent positions?
Well, I think when you always have to remember when you're dealing with young guys is don't get ahead of yourself. Don't try to do more than what they can do. And I think that's the challenge, that we have as coaches, is to take that mix and that blend of experience that we have, and then also we got to mesh it with the youth that we have to make sure that, yes, we have guys, Kevin Dorsey and Joe Villano and Kerry and me and Darren and all those guys. We know they can do a whole lot, but we've got to be smart because some of those young guys just aren't as experienced. And so I think that's the biggest thing. And again, it's showing them over and over and over again and repeating things, about this is how you need to do it and everything else. And again, I think as long as we as coaches continue to do that and players continue to heed those lessons, then we'll be able to make the kind of progress we want to make with those young guys.
And Coach, the current roster at UConn, I think, has 54 players that either you recruited or played under you. I guess, what's your relationship with those guys now?
Well, just like I told the media up there, because they asked the same question, you really can't have a relationship with them because of NCAA rules. I'm not allowed to talk to former players as I'm here. So when they graduate, I talk to them. But as far as the current players go, you really can't have a relationship just because of the way the NCAA has things structured.
Do you expect Saturday to be weird in any way when you're out there during pregame or whatever and see some of those guys that you have coached, or do you figure it is going to be just another game for you?
No, and again, they asked the same question, and no, that's fine. And as I told them, they know me pretty well, and this week is no different than any other week to me. This is game 3 on our schedule, and our preparation and my focus, I haven't done anything different up until this point, and I'm not going to do anything different from here on in. And when the game's over, there's people that I'll see and say hello to and wish them well. But my approach, my focus, what I need to do to prepare my players, University of Maryland players, that's what I'm going to continue to do the rest of the week.
But you got to see it, experience a little bit of time with Don last winter. How unorthodox or unconventional is his defense and gearing up for that?
Well, they're playing very well on defense, and it's something that they create a lot of disruption. But again, I think what you have to do is you just have to be very sound. You have to be very fundamental in terms of what you want to get done, and have your players go out and execute it. And the thing is, that's what we're going to put a plan together that's going to give us the best opportunity to go out and be successful against that defense.
Another question on the scheduling. I know coaches are sometimes involved along with the administration in scheduling future games. Had you actually been involved in scheduling Maryland when you were at UConn? I know Maryland, we've been fond of Maryland as a kid. Was that something that you worked with the administration on?
Yeah, got me a chance. Would get me a chance to come back home, and play a game down here. So I just thought it would be good when I was at Connecticut. I thought it would be a good game for us from the standpoint for us in recruiting down here, but then also from the standpoint that just to get down in this area.
Coach, lessons learned in building the Huskies program that's carried over, that's helped you in constructing the Terrapin program. What did you learn the most there that's helped you down here?
Well, learn a lot, and still learn each and every day. But I think it's just whenever you're being involved with building a program or taking over a program, you got to be who you are, and you got to stick to what you believe in. First of all, you got to have a philosophy. You got to have a philosophy in terms of what you want to do, how you want to do it, and then just keep implementing it the way that you feel is best to obtain the success in all three, to me, what I call all three phases of the program. And that's academically, that's football, and that's for the young men socially and maturity. And so I think that was probably the biggest thing. And again, just to work hard each and every day and do the best you can, and know that what you're doing is the right thing for the young men that you're mentoring, teaching, parenting, that you're taking care of each and every day.
And Coach, when you look at UConn, it almost seems like you're almost looking in the mirror with their team. They got a really strong, experienced defense that maybe their offense sort of has to lean on sometimes because their offense is a little turnover prone like you guys have been. Is that something that you've noticed in watching film them so far?
When you look at the numbers and defensively, and you see that, you probably have to say at this point in time, the defenses are strong suits, and both teams. Offenses are working and getting better, and then the same thing, in the kicking game. And that's the biggest thing that we have to do is we have to eliminate the turnovers. We have to eliminate the turnovers for us to continue to move forward and be who we want to be. And then we still have things that we need to work on defensively. We can't give up the big plays. 160, I think 160 yards came on 5 plays, and so they only had maybe 60 to 70 yards on, 50-some plays, and so, that's something that, that we got to continue to progress and get better at.
Randy, they sacked Leonard last week. I think it was 6 times. Did they do it with blitzing? What did you see with the pass rush?
Well, they do it a couple different ways. Trevardo Williams now, Trevardo Williams is as good a defensive end you're going to see now. He's fast. He's very, very fast. He was the state 100-meter champ in the state of Connecticut. And when you look at him, he reminds you a lot of Dwight Freeney. And Dwight Freeney came from Bloomfield, Connecticut. Trevardo was from Bridgeport. But, they'll try to get pressure with 4 men, 5 men. They'll do straight rush. They'll bring secondary guys. They'll bring linebackers. They got the number of sacks in a lot of different ways last week. But again, when you take a look at their front 4, Trevardo Williams is a senior and played as a true freshman. Ryan Worth is a redshirt senior. He's a 5th-year senior. And he's played a lot, now he's starting. And then Jesse Joseph, young man from Canada, came in and played as a true freshman. So they got a lot of experience, there. And then C.O. Moore, who's a 5th-year senior, who's a linebacker who they incorporate a lot in the rush, and they'll get him on one side and they'll get Trevardo on the other, and then they'll put them both on the same side. So they got some athletes who have some quickness who can really rush the passer. And then at the corner you got two 5th-year seniors, a cornerback in Bleedy and Dwayne. So one of the things that they feel, you can tell by watching film, is they feel pretty good about their cover ability, and with the speed that they have with those other guys and with their linebackers. And Yavin Smallwood is a young guy who is playing pretty well for them, at the inside backer, at the Mike backer. So they feel like, hey, we got this speed up front, we can blitz, make the ball come out, we got good guys that can cover, and so they're taking advantage of what their personnel can do best.